Did it go through?
Thank you.
Okay, guys, we're gonna get started. See if you can grab your lunch if you have no problem and come take a seat.
How are you doing, my friend?
Cutting. Yes, no, that's okay. Give me, am I not getting home? Yeah. I Good morning, everybody. If you all could take a seat, please. Good morning. Good morning, gorgeous Jill. Thank you so much for doing that.
Well, thank you for running.
She should be on her way. I talked to her this morning. And then Peggy will be here probably for her.
How's Robin? Robin turned the corner. She's doing great.
I guess she's doing okay. She texted me this morning. She sounded great. So.
Yeah, you feel better.
Is she? Good morning, everybody. My name is Robin Lemon. Just kidding. I was Roxy Hernandez a couple weeks ago. It's fun to be somebody else every so often. So if I screw up today, I'm Robin Lemon. Okay. So good morning, good morning, good morning. I wanted to start our day out because I am a numbers and a stats girl. So we're going to have a quick little quiz. So I want you guys to all put your thinking caps on really quickly for me. Okay, so here we go. An real estate agent has 2 property listings. Now add 11 more. What does that agent have now? Happiness. That agent has happiness.
Or losing their mind.
We're going to stick with happiness, Jill. So we want to start out our meeting as normal with what we're grateful for. I am, by the way, super grateful that Robin Lemon is doing well and doing better because she is an amazing leader and we just reward her. So Scott, give her lots of love from all of us. Anybody want to share what they're grateful for? Come on, guys, you all woke up and are alive today. Someone's gonna have something
Okay,
you're grateful
I'm
for.
grateful for, I just booked a trip to Canada. I'm so excited.
To where?
Canada.
Oh, that's
Nova
awesome.
Scotia, Halifax, and
Oh, very nice. That's
So I am
awesome.
grateful I'm able to do that, and real estate affords me to do that.
It does. It does. That's awesome. Yes, ma'am.
I am grateful for good health. When I first joined the KWS, I started in January of this year, the center. I was going through a really serious health challenge. This is the first time in about 3 to 4 years that I've enjoyed excellent health in 6 months in a row.
Well, we're
So-
grateful that you are. Markia?
I'm grateful. I was working with a very tough client from New York that never been here. I wrote 20 offers. Wow. All right. Now we finally closed on Friday. Then I got another buyer on the contract yesterday, and I took a listen. I went on the contract, and I have a listing appointment at the weekend. So I'm grateful to be part of this office. Amazing people and just such a great environment, you know, and success breeds success. So
Makes a difference, doesn't it? To be around people that are motivated and inspirational.
everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, ma'am.
I'm grateful to be my first meeting.
Oh. What is your name? Could you stand up and just tell us a little bit about yourself then?
My name is Lucy McCracken. I am from Dominican Republic. I live in Kennesaw. And I wanted to do this for like 5 years now. And so a friend of mine, a neighbor, her name is Chapman, she might be watching. She helped me out to get started. She's also new.
That's awesome. Well, we're grateful
for all of you guys and always being in business with you guys and your standards that you keep up. But we're also very especially grateful, especially the office leadership, for these people who have been helping out the past month while Robin is away. So thank you guys. Thank you, recruiting team.
We would like to thank our alliance partners. Truly, this is a, what do they say? Like raising a child is, you know, it takes a village. It takes a village to raise an office, right? So our alliance partners, they are amazing. They help us do our jobs. They are here to support us every single time. So Alec, if you would please come up and share with us what you got today.
Thank you. Well, if you're Robin, Robin's typically my sign lady. So, I mean, it's like-
You're being a white hat.
Hold the sign. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Alec with Shelter. If we haven't met yet, Kathy's there in the back as well. So a few things to talk about. Our appraisal CE class is coming up this Thursday from 11 to 2. If you haven't signed up, today is kind of the last day to get that in. We have to get a count for lunch. So please sign up. And I believe Pam is online and she wanted to pop on and say a few words. She took this class last year. And I think she wanted to say a few things. Pam, you there?
I am here.
Perfect.
I just wanted to say, I think this is one of the most important classes anyone can take as a real estate agent, to understand what the appraisers have to go through to appraise a property. It helps us not only in pricing properties for our sellers, but for our buyers, it can help us, determine what they're looking for in the appraisal. And it can help us if an appraisal comes in low and we need to contest that and ask for a reevaluation. Appraisers have specific guidelines they have to go by. There is some wiggle room and there is for them to have, their individuality as far as it's not, strictly you have to have, but you have to have, for example, one home priced above your list price and one home price below your list price, and the appraiser has to make adjustments to each of those to bring it to your sales price to try to to get that value. So I just encourage everyone to take this class. It's very valuable information for all agents.
Thanks, Pam. And Scott, you want to add something?
Yeah, I just want to add that, one of the things we talk about all the time is Gary mentioning about shift, the The market is always shifting. Everything is changing. Well, when the market is shifting, that means pricing is shifting. Expectations are shifting. To me, this is one of the most challenging areas in real estate, is pricing the houses right. Pricing it so that I get it right with my seller, that I don't have to go back and say, well, I got it wrong. Or to my buyer to go in now, right now, with offering above list price, we're paying over list and all that. But once the market gets back and it's already shifting and slowing down, then I don't want to have to write appraisals or come back and reduce the sales price. I want to hit it right the first time. And this is really challenging. And the more I hear from appraisers directly, the more it helps me do the CMA properly.
Yeah.
Get that pricing right.
It's an excellent class.
Yeah, it really is a great class. So if you guys haven't signed up, the link, Melody sent it out, I think Raven sent it out a few times. If you can't find it, just email me. I'm happy to forward it on to you guys. But if you plan on going, please sign up and register today. Yes.
Is it also on Zoom?
Yes, I believe it'll also be on Zoom, but to get CE credit, you do have to be in person for it. Yeah. And then on the train of classes, so we have our mid-year economic review with John Burns. They're a real estate consultant group that we partnered with a couple years ago, and so they're giving their mid-year economic review. They did this last year at the end of the year. Also a really awesome class. I believe it's on June 23rd from 10 to 11. So just go ahead and put that on your calendar. And you'll hear more about it the closer you get to it.
Will it be recorded? I hear that.
No, they don't allow us. They won't allow us to record it. So you'll have to come if you can. And they do it. We do one at the middle of the year and at the end of the year. So I think typically we can send out some bullet points, some notes on kind of what they cover, but yeah, we can't. It's not recorded. Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about, so we're really, really excited about this. Kathy has worked really hard with our corporate team to kind of get this rolling and finally finish. So it's our fully underwritten approval package. This is going to take the place of the pre-approval letter, and it kind of just goes a step further. And I believe everyone has one. Does anybody not have one? Everyone should have one. So it kind of is going into more detail. It's more than just, now you're hearing, hey, you're fully underwritten. This is giving the listing agent a little bit more peace of mind of what that actually means. So, where typically we're giving a pre-approval letter, now we're giving a fully underwritten approval package. So this looks like you have the details of the loan, of the pre-approval, and it's kind of giving that listing agent some expectation of what, one, they can expect from us, from our team, from Shelter, and then also what fully underwritten actually means. So if you jump to that next one, so it kind of breaks out the standard pre-approval versus the fully underwritten pre-approval. So the standard, you're just doing the application and employment review, and we are looking over income, but it's different. It's a different process from when the loan officer is just looking and says, hey, everything looks good, let's get your documents, to when it's actually being reviewed by the underwriter who has the final say, yes or no in the file. So they're able to give those conditions up front for us to review. So it's just that next layer of security for that listing agent. And then it goes on to list some advantages. So it's I think it's going to be a really awesome tool. I haven't really seen a ton of these out there. I think they look really professional. They'll be awesome to attach to those offers to the listing agent. So you'll start seeing these on all your offers moving forward. And Kathy, did you have anything you wanted to add on that? Yeah.
That's awesome. If I can interject something, so I'm a former underwriter. I spent 21 years in the wholesale mortgage industry, and to have our clients fully underwritten is unbelievable. So I want everybody to know there's two parts to every loan approval. One is the credit worthiness of your buyer. That's the most important. So get your buyer in there. Tell them up front, you're going to need your pay stubs, you're going to need your tax returns, you're going to need your bank statements. Get that over to Shelter, let them do that. And then all you have to do, the second part of any underwrite, is the collateral, which is the home. So get your clients over there, get them underwritten, have them do that. So all you have to do, once they find that house, you slip that collateral in. It just makes it for a much, much easier, quicker process and a lot less stressful.
Absolutely. And one last quick thing. So we just came across this. I had a borrower, a husband and wife buying a home for the wife's mother. And there's a product, did we figure the name out of the products? I'll have to find the name of the product, but it's a Fannie Mae conventional product. I mean, it basically says if, the mother cannot afford qualify on her own, and we can prove that she doesn't by getting either tax returns or pulling tax transcripts, then the husband and wife can actually and are purchasing that home for her as an owner occupied primary residence. So you're getting the better rate. As you guys, I'm sure, are aware at this point, the second home and investment property rates and discount points with those rates are just pretty crazy right now. So to be able to buy that owner occupied primary is really going to help them out payment wise and cash to close. So if you have anyone who's trying to buy a home for a parent, for a grandparent, and I think it might even be the other way around for a child, and we can prove that they don't make enough to qualify, then definitely reach out to us. We can run those numbers and make sure that that is true and that they can go that route. Any questions on any of that? Yes.
How long does it take from when we refer the client to them getting underwritten?
Fully underwritten, I mean, we can do that. Typically, if it's not a rush, it's about a week process, but I mean, we can rush it through in 3-4 days. We just need to get all the everything we need up front to get it turned over. So it's just, as long as we're getting those documents quick up front, then I would say in that 3 to 5 day range. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Next, if we could have Jake Griffith come up from Campbell and Brannan.
Hey guys, good morning. So I'm gonna kind of piggyback off Alex's kind of presentation about that pre-underwriting approval. So that is something that, we work with all lenders under the sun. We actually don't even get to pick the lenders we work with most of the time. So we appreciate the good relationships like Shelter has. But the big important thing you guys need to know is that at that point, really all they're waiting on from all of us in this room is the title work. So if that comes through and they have all the documents already underwritten, then it makes that 10-day close or 15-day close, 2-week close that much simpler. And there's not gonna be as many headaches or last minute fire drills for everyone to do. So that is a huge asset that they're bringing to the game, especially in this market as it's, always changing and getting more chaotic and crazy. But one thing I did want to talk about the market really quick. I know it was Scott. You had mentioned that, we have to adapt and things are changing. And so who here has a lot of buyers right now kind of sitting on the sideline or trying to find a home? Just everyone, right? So according to the most recent statistics from like Fannie, Freddie, Open Door, who tracks the stuff, Zillow, we're actually seeing the fastest decline or drop in listing prices that we've seen since 2019. Now, that doesn't mean that we're dropping 40%, but it means that those listing prices right now are too high based on the demand that's out there. So we're kind of seeing a slowdown and leveling out there. So that could be great news for your buyers, but we're still tracking probably about 2019 numbers too for tracking where the market's going as far as how much inventory is coming to the market, how many contracts are going pending. So don't forget, guys, we've been working on like a 2-year cycle where there hasn't been seasonal adjustments for supply demand, right? It's just been 1,000 miles per hour for 2 years since COVID, 2.5 years. We're now seeing more cyclical and seasonal kind of changes to the numbers to where we're pretty much in line with somewhat of a slowdown going into the summer months. The springtime is really crazy because everyone's trying to get things under contract, get things moving, especially with the school calendar and, going into the summer months. So we're still on pace for pretty normal numbers and everything like that. So even if we see a change right now and a shift in the market, that's not going to be unusual. It's going to feel a little bit different and maybe feel a little anxious because we're not used to feeling that, but it is normal. Okay. So if you guys have questions about any of that, bring us in, or if you want to talk to your buyers and sellers more, we can pull up some hard numbers to show them that, this is a pretty cyclical, normal kind of industry, and what we're seeing and what we will be seeing throughout the summer months is in line with historical norms. But that being said, I wanted to briefly touch base with mid-year contract changes. So I'm not going to go through all of these today with y'all because there's several, but nothing in here is, that unusual, too crazy for you guys to really be freaking out over as far as, has the GAR Reforms Committee slipped in things that are going to mess up my negotiating abilities based on what we've been doing for the past 2 years. There are two that I'm going to point out to you guys, but if you have questions on any of these, please reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to spend some time going through these one-on-one with y'all. But the two I'm going to talk about is, it's number 4 on this handout. It has to do with the lead-based paint exhibit. So in the actual purchase and sale agreement, the GAR Reforms Committee has now incorporated some of that lead-based paint language in the actual purchase and sale agreement. That's because a lot of agents and a lot of buyers, a lot of sellers, a lot of contracts were omitting that exhibit from the actual contract, just by accident or for various reasons. And so now you guys really need to be aware that if the exhibit's not attached to the contract, then the buyer has a 10-day right to terminate if lead-based paint is found, even if due diligence is less than 10 days, okay? So that basically creates a due diligence period for a buyer that's 10 days long, specific for a lead-based paint situation,
I
okay?
need to hear that a second time.
So.
Because I was reading.
No, you're fine. So-
Typically, if we have a buyer that wants to purchase our listing
Mhm.
and because we want short due diligence periods.
Right.
That lead-based paint, how is it being addressed now?
So let's say due diligence in the contract's 3 days long,
Right,
okay? And the property is pre-1978, and that lead-based paint exhibit is omitted from the contract. It's not included.
we're saying it's waived.
You're
Did they
saying,
strike that
Yeah,
box
we're
at the
saying
top
it's
where they
waived.
waived it, because it's always been there, they already had a 10-day.
Right,
And
so I
it's
wanna-
lead-based
I
paint.
wanna hear
right,
how it's
and
changed.
so you're talking about the second section with the initial,
Where they
where they
initially
waived
said
it and had
waiving
the 10 days?
Right.
right? But that's on the lead-based paint exhibit.
Okay,
So
as long as
if this is not there, that 10 days is now incorporated into the purchase and sale agreement. So ultimately, you guys need to make sure you're including that exhibit in these pre-1978 homes. But if it's omitted and forgotten, this could be a way that 10-day could sneak into the contract. So
they
just
can
be mindful of
exercise-
that.
They can exercise.
Right.
Additional due diligence.
Exactly. Even if that exhibit is omitted from the contract, which it shouldn't be, but clerical mistakes and stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
And then also, one more thing I wanted to mention,
Can they only extend that if it is a lead-based paint, like? they
it's
want an
specific
inspection?
for lead-based paint.
So, okay,
Yeah.
so they can't just say, oh, we want.
Right, we need to look at these repairs and all this stuff. They can't
Okay.
expand that
Just
that
specific to
period,
them.
right? And then the FHA and VA mandatory clause. There's clarifying language that's included now. It says that the clause should apply even when the financial contingency period is terminated. That's number 5. So that's just restating what these regulatory guidelines and parameters already are. But there was a lot of, I guess, I don't want to say lawsuits that we saw, but there's a lot of bickering back and forth between agents on each side of the deal, claiming the mandatory clauses apply versus they don't apply, financing contingency is over. When it's FHA, VA, it doesn't matter if the financing contingency is over, these clauses still apply. Okay,
They circumvent.
Right. right. So, because now we're dealing with federal regulation, right? So you can't, write special stipulations that override existing laws and regulatory schemes in the industry. So just keep that in mind, just clarifying language there. I just want to point that out to y'all because I know a lot of people are still trying to use those appraisal gap stipulations for FHA and VA loans. And while it's nice to have the intent of the party shown saying that, oh yeah, your VA or FHA buyer is going to bridge that gap, it's actually not enforceable. Okay, so these are what control in those situations. But like I said, if you guys have any questions about any of these, please let us know. I don't think there's any major changes. I was really hoping the mid-year changes would include special stipulations for appraisal gap language, because right now you have 50 closing attorneys across the state, all drafting their own versions of appraisal gap language, and each one's a little bit different. And you throw a bunch of attorneys in a room, none of them are going to agree on which one's the best. And then also the escalation clauses. But maybe we'll get those going into 2022 at the beginning of the year, GAR contract changes. But happy to help you guys out with anything you all need. I know it's myself and Kyle Timmons mainly are going to be y'all's point of contacts out of the East Cobb office for Campbell and Brennan. And then you have Laura and Spencer out of our Alpharetta office. So you guys have 2 Campbell and Brennan offices at your disposal. That's about 10 attorneys. So please use us. If you have any questions, don't ever feel like you're bothering us. We would much rather spearhead issues on the front end than try to do it in a 2-week time to close. So always here to be a resource for each and every one of you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We have Michael Harris in the house. I don't think we do today. Okay, but I do see Kelly Lucinda. So we'd love to have you come up and share with us.
Well, good morning, everybody. Kelly Lukenda with 210 Home Buyers Warranty, your home warranty partner. So I got some wine again. Who's going to win? So my question today, you guys know the rules. There's no shout outs. You do have to raise your hand. But who can tell me how complimentary listing coverage works? He's giving it to you.
The complimentary listing coverage, as long as you call in with your new listings that you've just taken and put the complimentary warranty coverage on, there's no cost to your seller in the event of any hiccups during your listing period, which is great. The intention is to pass it on to the buyer, but it's great coverage and your listing agent, you don't want to list without it.
Thank you. Good job. So yes, we do have complimentary listing coverage for your sellers. Again, how it works is we don't know how long the home's on the market for. A couple of hours, days, weeks, months, even up to a year. And so what we are proposing to your sellers is we will give them a free warranty during that listing period. We just ask for a verbal commitment that they're going to present it to all parties at closing. So nothing is due up front, nothing would be due until closing, and only if that home closes. So during that listing period, if 210 goes out there, if we do any repairs, if we do any replacements, if they do not close, if they decide to take their home off the market, nothing is due, even though that we paid out money. The only thing that is optional during the listing period is adding the air conditioner and heat pump coverage. That is an additional $50. But again, nothing's due until closing and only if that home closes. So take advantage. I do have a lot of listing agents that have actually called, and I know everyone's out there fighting for these listings, but they are actually getting these listings by saying that they're going to provide it to them and actually pay for it for the buyers at closing. So that's something that you guys could take advantage of. We also do have awesome buyer packages. Our Supreme package is the best one, but we have prices starting low as $430 up to $670. Another thing I wanted to let you guys know I do come along with my package. I love to educate your buyers. I love to tell them about the warranty expectations, but give them that peace of mind knowing that they have a local rep that they can call anytime if they ever have questions, guidance, or even need to get me involved in a claim. I know the type of market that we are in. It's a seller's market. A lot of sellers are not wanting to pay for the warranty. I'm hearing we have to keep our contracts clean. But I have been working with an agent for the last 3 months because she did tell me those words. And I said, just give me an opportunity to work with you. And so what she has been doing is every buyer that she is working with, she's emailing me and CCing her buyer, just saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I want you to meet Kelly Lukenda with 210 Home Buyers Warranty. She is my partner. Kelly, please meet Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. I want her to share the home warranty with you because this is something that's very important. You are going into a pre-loved home. There's older systems and appliances. And y'all, she has sent me 12 and I've gotten 9 warranties out of that. So that's why I want you guys to know to take advantage of me. I am your resource. I'm not asking you to sell the warranty. That's my job. I'm here to make you guys look good because I want to continue to grow with you guys. Yes, ma'am.
Can you share the email template that she sent to send to Raven so we can?
Of course. And I can even share, just email me and then I'll share and CC everybody saying, hey, welcome. This is exactly what we cover, has all of my information. I even attach the service agreement. I tell them about the Happy Home Lock and Hardware where we give back up to $100 to go towards lock. So yeah, I can definitely do that.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you guys again. If you haven't used 210 Home Buyers Warranty, have ever worked with me, I would love to be your partner. So thank you.
We have a wonderful lunch today that's been provided by Todd Reed of DK Rentals. And Todd, if you'd like to come up here. Thank you so much for the lunch. It looks amazing.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hello, everyone. Did everyone get lunch? Most important thing. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Today, I just want to announce we are going to be teaching a class at 1 o'clock right here. It's going to be on real estate investing. I know some of you were here for our 1031 class from last month, Crystal. And I know Crystal's going to be here. It's a fun class. I used to teach part of this class at Emory University at the Real Estate Investing Academy. And so it's going to be, we're going to talk about all kinds of different ways to do creative deals and what's a good rental property and what's a good a property for flipping. So please be available, and we're going to be on Zoom. Is that correct? So
We'll
if you
be
can't,
on Zoom as well, and we'll be recording it if you happen to have an appointment during that time period.
yeah, so it'll be about an hour and a half class. I have about 8 hours worth of material. So one of the things we're going to do is when we get together, I'm going to give you a handout, and you guys are going to rank what kind of what topics you'd like to cover in that class, and then there'll be additional topics in the future if you're interested. So please, love to have you back here at 1 o'clock. Thank you, Rick.
And just so you guys know, Todd and DK Rentals, their company is a property management company. So if you have clients who are looking to do property management or anything, please reach out.
Thank you, Rev. You do better than I do.
I forgot that.
I forgot. I'm so excited about the class because I love this class.
Thank you so much.
Contribution.
So on the screen, we have got, especially for our newer agents, here is our June calendar. You can see all the events, all the CE classes, all of the team meetings, everything on there. See Raven about new agent orientation that she teaches. And we are loaded with classes. We try to help you build your business to provide all of the knowledge and tools that you can to build the best business that you possibly can. So always check in. There's something going on every single day.
Yeah, and Ignite will be happening in June. And it'll be going from June to July. It's already started, but you haven't missed a bunch of classes. So if you need to get your 25-hour post license or 25 CEs in for Greg, go ahead and do that. And then I believe in August, September, it will be held at our office if you would like to attend that one.
That's awesome. Yeah. Awesome. We've also got another class coming up, and this is how to add more deals to your pipeline using social media. So we used to say, social media is the wave of the future. It's so not. It's the wave of now. In fact, if you haven't already started, you're way behind the 8 ball there. So marketing with a mission. This class is actually going to be held here June 16th from 10 to 12. And this gal here is what did we call her?
A mobile marketing
mogul. Say that 3 times fast. So she is the real deal. Don't miss this class.
Is she part of our office? No, but she owns her own marketing company. She works with a lot of real estate offices. I believe there was a class about a month or so ago that Andy and Leslie Peters hosted. So she's a good friend of theirs. They use her for marketing themselves. So come on out. This is a great opportunity for you to come and see what the top dogs are using for some of their marketing.
So our market update. Are you guys the economist of choice for your clients? That's a service that we all need to be providing. We need to know these numbers backwards and forwards, because when you know your stats, maybe sometimes we even have to make up a stat or two, but if we know our stats, our clients seem to just, they trust in us. We know what we're talking about. So we currently have 1,738 active listings. That was from June 1st through the 7th. So these are weekly, 1,207 pending. And from 5/25, end of the month, you're always going to have a lot more at the end of the month. We had 2,114 closings.
Those numbers are much higher than what we've seen.
They are, and they're going to continue,
Which is great.
through the summer. Hopefully, we'll be bringing more listings on too. So, how's the Metro Atlanta market? Again, 6-1. I am definitely not Robin Lemon. You can tell because so I don't know whether Robin goes through these each individually.
We just say the numbers, look at the numbers.
Yes.
They're getting better.
Look at them. I was Vanna White a moment ago, so I'll be Vanna White again. So please.
If there's a trend, and I know we've had a trend of 3 consecutive quarters.
Yeah, look at closings. Closings are going up. Pendings are, they're bouncing around a little bit, but they're pretty consistent from beginning of March. But look at those closings. They're
Here's
going
what I
up
can
there.
say. So closings at the end of the month are always stressful, and here's why. 2,114 closings in a week versus 1,326 in the beginning of the month. So there's the numbers.
And it's more negotiating power for buyers, guys, and it's more properties out there. It's less buyers because interest rates.
There you
so
go.
keep
Jake,
that in
thank you
mind,
so much.
especially if you're talking to sellers. Paint a realistic picture for them.
So remember, guys, you can go to this slide here that's gonna be sent out to you. You can click on it. There's a little video showing you how to edit it. Please download it and then edit it, or else it'll be editing it for everybody who gets the slide. So please download it and edit it, and you can use it in your listing presentations and social media and, show your buyers what it looks like out there to prepare them for the market.
This is also
Any
nice.
idea the last time we had numbers in 1,700? Do we know what month that was, or what was it? the entire year that
I would say it
was?
was before the fall. It was probably before January. Yeah. We were hovering around the 1,200s and 1,300s for a
All this
long
year.
time. Yeah, so those numbers are going up. It's looking really good.
Mhm. This is also great to put in a listing presentation as well. Builds credibility. Ladies and gentlemen, we have America's Next Top Models. They're absolutely gorgeous. And if you notice, background on each picture, everybody is in the beautiful black dress. So I am so excited today to announce that we are having a luxury panel with several of our own absolutely amazing agents in our office, as well as I said I wouldn't say Grand Poobah. So,
Well, she's in France, actually.
okay, so the executive coordinator of Living Luxury, Courtney Gardner, is here with us as well to talk about the luxury niche. So ladies, if you would please join us up front.
And we did not coordinate.
Are you sure? Because you're all wearing the same color.
Look at those shoes.
Same background.
Where is Courtney?
She's
Oh,
back there.
come on up.
I'm stuck in my chair.
So we have Peggy Condras, Rena Tayara, and Jill Maxon, and we couldn't ask for a better panel of luxury agents today as well. So we've got a few questions that we're going to present to the panel. I am absolutely sure there are some of you out there that want to break into the luxury niche. Who doesn't? If we sell $1 million home, that's the equivalent of 4 $250,000 homes, right? So a little less effort, a little more money, and the ability to sit up here on next year's panel.
Well, also, just so you know, when we combine our three partners in the Southeast on Trend Graphics, Keller Williams is #1 in the million+ transactions.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
And
fantastic.
I heard a stat as well, last meeting we were at, that we're #1 outside the perimeter in Atlanta in luxury, and #2 inside, or outside, we're #1, #2 inside, is that correct?
Actually, #1 in the whole region.
That's phenomenal, because if you think
Yeah.
about it, we've got Sotheby's, we've got these that are saying they're strictly luxury. So for us to be #1, that's absolutely.
Oh, and not by a
amazing.
little.
Oh,
by a lot.
I know.
You just have to combine our three because the way Keller Williams is franchised. But I'm working on correcting that, so no one else can say they're #1 in luxury.
When you say combine the three, the legacy group?
We have three partners that pull in on Trend Graphics. So if you hear Atlanta Fine Homes say that they are, whatever in the market leader, they're using that data. That's where that data source comes from. But because we are separated into three categories based on ownership of different market centers, we show up as #2, #5, and #6. When you combine them, we're #1. So I'm working on getting that combined with Trend Graphics so that you can unabashedly and unequivocally say we're #1. Okay. I'll sneak us up.
Awesome. So Peggy, if I can start with you.
Sure.
How did you break into the luxury market?
Oh, okay.
let's see, I am finishing up my 7th year. When I started in real estate, I knew out of the box I wanted to focus on luxury. And in all honesty, it's primarily just because of my sphere and the location where I was living. I've lived in the same community for over 30 years. So I was well established in terms of relationships and friendships. But probably most importantly, I was a luxury consumer, and I could see the level of service that my friends and myself was not getting. And there seemed to be a real opportunity to kind of, after getting my license and going through the KW training and all the incredible and valuable information that I was given, it was like a light went off, like this is an amazing opportunity to really go in and give these people service like they've never seen before. Because I'm in a very established community. We have real veterans that pound that community. It's Country Club of the South. And we had one in particular, Jackie Spoda, who was the queen. You didn't touch her. But you know what? There was a lot of complacency in our community because they were order takers. And there was so much new construction at the time, people coming through, and you didn't have to work hard for it at all. Times changed. We now have competition with the Manor and the River Club and St. Ives, and the Falls, and the whole thing. And the other agents, in my opinion, didn't pivot. They didn't change with the change in the marketplace. And they just sat there and waited for their phone to ring. Okay. So to me, it was just a great opportunity to provide a level of service that I would expect. And as I met, it literally, you just need one break. Just get one break to get a listing. And if you do a great job, the word will spread so fast. And that's honestly what happened on my behalf. And I would just spend time with them discussing the market and going over the numbers and everything. And you come to realize no one else was doing that.
Wow. Good, good. Very good information. What about you?
Well, I've been in the business for 10 years and I'm catering to all kinds of buyers. So what I did is like, I got my certificate in the luxury home marketing specialist. This way to get the tools to be able to get like a higher level of service and then apply it to luxury and also apply it to everybody I work with, because I want to differentiate myself and then want to show them value. So having that, I mean, I would love to be like Peggy and only work with the luxury, and because it's more fun and you feel like
it's not fun.
It's a lot of work. Because I did, yeah. At the end of the day, whether you are selling a $300,000 house or a $2 million home, you are spending a lot of time doing either one. So if you can specialize in luxury, that's great. But they tell you the market, it's good to diversify. So whatever the market is going, you always have buyers and sellers in that market. So what I'm trying to do is like with the luxury background, I try to take the tools and to apply it in my everyday work and relationship with my clients. But Keller Williams has a lot to offer with the division of the Keller Luxury. We are so proud to have Courtney on our board. She provides a lot of tools and information and value that we are grateful to have. And with the other designation that I got, the Certified Luxury Home Marketing, you can work on that to get it under your belt. And then to really earn the designation at the end, you need to be selling luxury homes, a couple of homes per year to be able to hold that designation. But it's a road, and you keep learning and you keep taking new tools to implement in your daily life. But you have to keep your insanity to be able to hold everything together.
Jill, what about you? How did you?
Well, I'm across the street from Peggy in the Falls Montreal, so I've just focused on that market and really pounded it. And the same thing as Peggy said, once you get your first listing, if you do a fabulous job, it's going to go out. People meet socially at the pool, they meet at the tennis courts, people start talking it up. I mean, I'm getting calls now. I used to have to, I'm still calling the neighborhood and things, informing it. However, I'm getting more calls coming into me now. Hey, come on over. We want to interview you.
That's awesome.
So, and from people I don't know in the neighborhood, because it's over 470.
So it sounds like what we're hearing is you have an opportunity to get one, You do a phenomenal job. That could lead to others,
Absolutely.
as well as education, getting yourself educated. So one of the things we're excited about Courtney here today, and when we're through with some panel questions, we're going to talk to Courtney and see what supplemental support she offers to the agents that want to focus.
Well,
on
and
the
I did
luxury
want to
niche.
mention too, so I did not join, I was invited to join, you have to be invited to join Atlanta Luxury, Live Luxury. And I didn't join because I was cheap and it was gonna cost too much. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't wanna, you know.
I hear this commonly, actually.
Lead with revenue, but when I joined this group, I said to Kay Evans, I said, why didn't you kick me in the and make me join this? And she says, I don't work like that. And I'm like, I love it. They're a great group to be with. You just learn from other people in the group, as well as the meetings, the economists they bring in. The things that they hold are just phenomenal, honestly. It's so worth the money.
Technically, it equates to like $72 a month. So
And it's a write-off.
And 100% write-off.
Absolutely. So it sounds like you two ladies have lived in that arena. You've had an opportunity. Those are your friends. It's your sphere of influence. Raina, you had a little bit of a different experience because you went to it through an educational sort of path. So with that being said, how long have you been concentrating on the luxury niche, Raina?
Probably like 6 years.
6 years. Okay, so
Yeah.
you've been selling for 10, and so about 6 years.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you.
On that, did you get your luxury designation 6 years ago?
Yes. Yes, I did that. And I recently joined Keller Williams. So I haven't been here with KW for just 1 year, but I immediately joined. I was invited to join immediately because this is what I wanted to be.
So Peggy, you kind of shared with us a little bit about what set you apart. You said you just needed that one break, and you shared some things that you realized weren't being shared. Kind of elaborate on that. So what else, like what other levels of service maybe did you provide that helped you break into an area that really was, being, there was kind of the reigning queen, if you will.
That's right,
So
yeah. Guys, this is gonna sound so stupid and so simplistic, but here is the bottom line. I picked up my phone. When people called me, I answered it right away. If they left a message, because I called it back right away. The lack of communication was startling to me. And the feedback I got from all my different clients was, yeah, I called him and never returned my phone call, or he called me 3 days later. And it was just shocking. And people just want to hear from you. And even if it's, hey, I'm in a meeting, I'll call you as soon as I'm out. And I would say that's probably one of the things that people will mention about me, is that I'm extremely responsive.
That doesn't mean though they can suck the life out of you.
Well, they still do that.
Stop, you sound like you're very busy right now, Peggy.
Well, but I am one of those crazy agents. I really am, and I'll admit it. I know it's not good, but if the client wants to speak at 11 o'clock at night, I'm speaking to him
See,
11 o'clock at
I
night.
draw the line on that.
Yeah.
During the ones I have to be on that phone.
I kind of draw the line. I
Yeah.
expect
And
people,
that's personal.
people to
As a co-op
respect
agent or a potential co-op agent, she is very responsive. I've shown a couple of her properties and she's missed my phone call, but she said, hey, I was in a showing, blah, blah, or I was.
makes
doing
all the
this.
difference,
So
doesn't
she
it?
is very communicative, well, period, with other agents. That's crucial.
That's super important because the stats tell us that 86% of sellers go with the first person they talk to,
Right.
even if you have an established relationship with them. So if you're not calling them, the chances are that someone is. Very important.
Raina, what about you? So the service levels that you provide, what do you think sets you apart? So let's say if you weren't the first and only agent that somebody interviewed, but maybe you've had a client that has interviewed a few or had a past relationship with another agent, and they said, oh, I didn't enjoy this experience because of this. What sets you apart? What kind of service levels did you provide?
All my business actually has been from my sphere of influence. And it all starts by building relationship. So you have to contact your database, you have to really care about them, and you have to stay in touch. keeping in touch and showing them what's happening in the market sets you as a person of reference, like economist of choice. So it's, in addition to what you provide to the buyers or to the client, it's like being human with them, just showing them that you can and showing them that you can easily communicate with them, and that helps a lot.
Nobody knows or nobody cares what you know until they know you care, right?
Exactly, right. Yes.
Okay. So Jill, what about you? What kind of levels of service do you think that maybe you try to offer your clients that sets you apart?
Well, I pretty much do everything. It's concierge service. I mean,
Okay.
everything. I will walk the dogs. I will.
See, I won't do that. Not these ideals.
One big value is having vendors that will get out to them immediately, and having your list of vendors that you can completely say, here you go. Is to call them, tell them that I am, you're working with me and they need to get out soon. And I have vendors that'll drop everything and get out to my clients. So that's a big one for them, honestly. But, you're saying 86% of the people only hire or interview one agent.
First person. that they-
I just got a listing in the falls coming up and they interviewed 4.
Wow.
They interviewed 4 agents and they called me and said, you got it. And I'm like, wow. And once we get a little more established, I'm going to ask them why you picked me. So obviously I need to focus on that. But you just full service. I mean, everything just.
Ladies, do any of
and
you
then
bring
really
in-
caring about your client more than
That
anything.
does, and they feel that, they know
Mhm.
that. So do you bring in like referrals? So, maybe I sold, Bob Smith's house down the road. Feel free to call Bob and ask how, how he felt about the service levels I
Yes,
delivered.
most definitely. And my listing presentations, on the left side, I have a bio written up about my experiences and how I got into real estate and the level of service I provide. Then right behind that, I have a 2 or 3 page referral list. And it has my client's name, their direct telephone number, and the amount of business that we did with them, whatever I sold their
guys hear
house
that?
for 2 million, whatever it is.
So many people don't do that. That's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
and that
Maybe.
just shows you're putting your money where your mouth is. I don't mind you calling any of these clients, pick one, and it's out there for you. So that just shows you're very open and you're obviously very confident that you're going to get a nice referral if you're willing to put that many names on a sheet of paper.
That's awesome.
And I always jokingly say, hey, when you have nothing better to do, here's my personal information. And I think them just seeing it is enough to win their confidence. I don't know that they ever really.
I don't know if they ever call either,
think
because I
so.
do kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll just put all the testimonials and
Yeah.
say, here's my testimonials, call anybody you like.
I want to hit on 2 things. One thing that you talked about with your vendors,
Mhm.
this is so important. You've got to align yourself with people that represent your brand. And don't skimp on that or sacrifice it, because it's your reputation. And if you send an appraiser out there, an inspector out there that doesn't do a good job, it reflects on you. So honestly, everybody gets one shot with me. And if they do a great job, they are on my team. And I talk to them constantly about representing the brand properly. And it's the standards we hold high for our clients. Clients are number one in their needs. And if they don't do it, they're gone. And I have no problem, just you're done.
Dropping them.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Since COVID has happened, the luxury, I mean, your price point is on average what?
Oh, gosh, it's about 1.4.
Okay, so typically those homes prior to COVID would sit on the market a lot longer.
Correct, yes.
So tell me about that. I mean, back then, because we're heading back towards that
You're
market.
right,
and
it's
The
a great
luxury market
question.
and the condo market are the first indicators that show us that the market is changing, which we already know it's happening.
Right.
So you were obviously doing luxury then.
Well, and it's so funny, I would sit in these team meetings and I would hear everybody talk about all these units they were selling and how fast they were selling them, and they would just put the and I would sit there going, what? How could this be? Because I was in a buyer's market the whole time. They were still very much in a seller's market because of price point. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? But then as I got into the business and I realized luxury is extremely, extremely time consuming to do it right. But you want to do it right because it will sell if you, I don't just list a home. I spend a lot of time bringing a house to market. So once it hits the market, it's shiny and it's sparkling, and then it's ready to go. But still, we had really long days on market.
And that's where I wanted to go with it, because when you look at that, a luxury home will sit on the market for 86 days.
Oh, that's
or
nothing.
longer, or
Right.
longer. When you're a high-end listing agent, and the way that you're saying you present your clients, the cost of marketing that listing for long periods of time, I mean, how do you do that? Because that's the one thing that's kept me away from the high end, except for when I was in California, when that price point was every day.
With entry level.
But here, you know, it's a concern, but it's kept me away from it, because I'm like, you know, I know what a listing costs to market. Now if I'm gonna hold that listing for 6 months, is that?
But really, the costs aren't that bad. I mean, you've got your initial startup, of course, you've got your photography and your staging if needed and blah, blah, blah. But after that, most of my marketing is gonna be e-blast. And I do a lot of e-blast newsletters. I do an ad once a month in Country Club of the South. So those are standard expenses. And I will periodically do postcards to Country Club, and that's, you know, that's $1,000 hit every time I do that. But you know what, if you do most of it online, there's no expense really. So
Your initial expenses, and you're in the luxury market and you're making more commission, should be higher. I mean, you've got to really up your game on that one. If you get a listing 800 and up, you got to really up your game on it.
So that leads us into our last question, and then we're gonna go over to Courtney. So what sets the luxury market buyer seller apart from other markets, if anything? And if so, how do you service that buyer or seller to provide an exceptional experience? So in other words, marketing, which I know, Peggy, you just touched on, closing gifts, service levels. Is there anything additional that you do that maybe at a closing or something that really sets you apart? And let's start out with Jill on that.
Well, closing gifts, I've ordered Cutco, you know, it's like a 200, 250 gift that I order for the people. And I try not to get into, I used to run around trying to figure out what they liked, but I don't have time for that. You know, you think of what will they like, and then you're last minute trying to get a closing gift for somebody. So that's my closing gift. I know a lot of people like to do cheese boards and things like that. What sets you apart basically is just being there for them all the time, keeping them in communication with everything. This is what's happening. And my price point's a little lower than Peggy. So mine is more like $1 million, $1.1 million. And honestly, you know, it used to take 90 days to sell my listings. Now it's like 4 days, they're gone. They're gone. Yeah. And it's just amazing to me. I don't think the market's going to switch back to where we were, because we have so many people coming in from California, from New York, from Chicago. I'm getting so many buyers that are paying cash for $1.3 million house. It's just, it's great. You know, they don't need to worry about, they can't pay $1 million, $1.2 million.
Raina, what about you?
I believe it's also the level of communication, and probably maybe giving them something, even if it's small, at each end of contingency, just to show them that this is exciting. This is okay. We are done with due diligence. Now we are on with the financial contingency. And it doesn't have to be a big gift, just small stuff, just to show them that you care, you're happy, and you're sharing their emotion going through the cycle.
Great idea.
Very good.
What are you doing?
The one beautiful thing about the luxury clients and their mindsets, they're so much easier than when you're dealing with a client who's in the 300 or 400 or 500 price point. Wouldn't you agree?
I wouldn't say they're,
When I say easier, I mean they're executives, they're busy, they're professional, so they
Right.
appreciate your professionalism and your hustle, and you don't need to handle them the same way as people in the lower price points. That's what I meant.
they probably don't need as much of an education.
I mean, yes, because they already understand this
Exactly.
language.
They've gone through it, you know, because if they're in a luxury home, they've bought a lot of homes getting to that
Yeah,
point.
so that's
But there's all different personalities, because I get the range of, you're the professional, we're counting on you, get this house sold. And I don't hear from them again. And everything I do along the way, they're so appreciative of. But then there are the strong Ds that are controlling every little move I make. And honestly, it's hard to work in that environment because I'm better off just let me do my thing and I'll get your house sold. But it's like anything, you'll get all the different personalities. But to your point, yes, they're much more educated and advanced.
I think they ask a lot more questions with the economy and things like that. They're, you know, they're constant, they want you to be the professional, and you are, and you're the expert. They want education from you.
And they expect performance.
Yes.
What are you giving? Tell us some examples. What are these little gifts you're giving along the way that would qualify for someone in a luxury?
It can be $20 gift, but it's just like you thought of them. It can be a gift treat. When due diligence has ended, you send them like a cookie, a cake. It doesn't have to be something of great value, but it's just like something that has like, I forget the word, just like a little bit symbolic that, yeah, that you know what they are going through, and this is like, okay, let's do this like in time of celebration because we are done with one of the contingencies.
I just didn't know like specifically for that market, you were doing something specific, what would you be doing for someone else?
Yeah, I mean,
Something
it can be the same. Yeah.
So if I can share one of the things that I've done for my luxury clients is, for my buyers, I have brought in a cleaning team. And I've had that house completely spotlessly cleaned. And then I fill the fridge with their favorite things that would be helpful for them when they are moving in. They can go in. If they are a tea drinker, there's teas there. If they're a wine drinker, there's a bottle of wine. I had a gentleman who loved chai tea and he had this very special tea. I found out where I could order it and I ordered that for him. And then I just filled up. So I would have toilet paper in all of in the bathrooms for them. And I would have my cleaning crew make sure that everything that they would possibly need while they're moving in is there. You know, maybe I went a little bit above and beyond, but my clients love that.
And one thing we offer through Live Luxury, they are great about the training, and we always we create a delight and surprise list. And it's always, to your point, Raina, that along the stages, you're always bringing them a little something recognition. So we start with the candle, and it's nicely packaged in a really nice white box with a black ribbon and the logo, Keller Williams Live Luxury logo. And I can't tell you how impressive that is to just walk in the front door and say, thank you for taking your time to meet with me today. Here's a little gift. And they're all taken back that you've even entered the house with a little something in your hand.
That's a great idea.
And then to your point, the tip treats, a bottle of wine, a pie, instead of flowers, if you want to send a meal, there's a lot of different things along the way that you can easily get.
Sure, I think that's a great idea. If you're starting out with something, then they're thinking, oh man, I'm getting this beautiful candle and we're just meeting. They don't even have the business yet. Imagine what that's going to look like when I get to the closing table.
Oh my goodness,
This is
if you're
the kind of
sending,
service levels.
if you're sending tips, treats, and you can send it to them at work, they're gonna be like, who sent you the, my realtor? My realtor doesn't do that. I need your realtor. You know, you can do little things that do that. And then another, if you're building your luxury brand, if you're breaking into a neighborhood, your million buyer runs in $1 million circles for the most part. Throw them a housewarming party where you provide appetizers and the plates and the silverware and that sort of thing. Costs about the same amount of money as your $250 basket. You get to attend and meet their people.
That's why she's the executive.
Yes, absolutely. So
we gotta talk.
With that being said, I would like to introduce everybody again to Courtney Gardner, and she is. So Courtney, if you will, please tell us a little bit about you, how you got into the luxury niche, what kept you there, and what services you provide for the agents that are interested in specializing in this.
I mean, the answer to that is Kay Evans. I was working for the Barnes Young team out of the Peachtree Road office, helping them with marketing, and that came to an end, and Kay called me and said, I'm only interviewing you. So
who can turn that down?
Nobody turns her down.
Yeah, but I've been in and around new homes, real estate and construction for about 20 years. I worked for a brief stint in UBS Financial Services, running their financial division for Central Florida region.
I did a brief stint in acting and voiceover.
Oh.
I was very pregnant. I don't recommend it. And then I sort of was like, well, I need to get back out there and do stuff. And I met Jennifer Barnes through a mutual friend. She's like, we need you. And that happened. And then that brought me to Kay. And now I'm here before you today. I don't know. I'm just following my foot. We'll see how it goes.
She has made such impact in Live Luxury. She has really taken it to the next level. And what's really great is Courtney's always giving us fresh, new ideas, great marketing handles. So you don't need your own brand. You just use the Live Luxury brand and it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It gives you that delineation between maybe your regular brand, if you're still working below the luxury market, or you have that sort of 60-40 split that you're working on. You then have a designated separate luxury standard brand that people get that feels special, which is wonderful as your people move from the $200,000 buyer to the $2 million buyer. Because if you are really staying engaged with them and they become your client for life, that's where they'll be in 5, 6, 2 years. You never know. Powerball is a thing. That's right, it works. But what we do is Live Luxury is we consider ourselves to be the sort of sister to Luxury International. So Keller Williams Luxury International, run by Brady Sandhall, is reinventing itself and spreading itself around the globe, quite frankly. What we do is we provide the localized support that's complementary to them. We are technically separate entities, but we are doing everything we can to be vertically aligned with them so that you get that one-on-one support. You can literally call me, text me, not anytime, but I will usually respond very quickly. And I can help you through things. If you're stuck on Canva, if you can't get your newsletter to work, if you want a closing gift idea, if you just want to tell me about a buyer that you didn't really care for that day, you know, whatever it is, you can call me. And then we have a whole suite of materials, which I will give you sort of the brief rundown of it. Yeah. So luxury, we're the boutique division of Keller Williams. We are sort of the child of Kay Evans, who is one of the owners of the Southeast region. She's my direct boss. She really truly believes that luxury in Atlanta is unique from anywhere else in the country. Atlanta is not the same as Miami or Chicago or New York or New Jersey. It is uniquely itself different. And so she thinks that that needs full support. Your membership dues that you get from us, which are very low, do not pay for the access to the materials and the events that you get. Kay Evans personally funds that. Your funds go towards creating the easy button for you. That's things like social media templates. We have 3 suites of presentation materials, which have accompanying social media and postcards. We do digital blasts, we do stats, we do a lot of stuff for you. So it funds that portion of it. For your access to masterminds, your access to a lot of the bigger materials, websites and things, personally funded by Kay Evans. And so you can go to the next slide if you like. Qualifications for membership, slightly different than Luxury International. Luxury International requires 4 and 24 months at the luxury level. So for Fulton County, that's $825,000. For most of the other metro counties, that's $700,000. And there's some offshoots like Greene County is $995,000 to be considered luxury, and Raybun, which is $1.295 to be considered luxury. Those are Atlanta's second home markets for the most part. But for the most part, that's where they fall. We check that every 12 months. Typically your team leader or another luxury member will refer you to me. Or at the end of the year, I pull production and I create my own little pipeline of people I want to talk to. Some of you are in here. And then Luxury International requires the 4 and 24 months. You're just 2 in every 12 months. And then you have to maintain that. Next.
Question for you real quick. Does that have to be listing or can that be representing buyers?
Either side. So if you're buyer heavy, it qualifies. And I personally pull your production and do your verification. Or your team leader will send it to me if she or you just want to reference you. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of perks. I'm not going to read all of those to you, but I can send this to you if you'd like it, or we can do a one-on-one.
We will be sending this out. So when
Perfect.
everybody gets the email with the recording and all of the slides from today, this will be included. I know we're running a little bit over and we appreciate everybody's patience. We've had a great meeting today.
I will be fast, I promise. One of the big things is you get a presence. I populate your FMLS listings to luxuryrealestate.com. That gives you a global presence. So if you've created the real estate partnerships in our 4 states that of mine are coming into Georgia, so that's California, New York, New Jersey, and Ohio. You should be creating partnerships for referrals in those 4 states. Reach out to those brands. I'm your person in Roswell area. Please, I'd love to have your listings. That's where the money's coming into. The money is going out to South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas, and Florida. So you should be creating referral partnerships with those 4 as well, because that's where people are buying their second homes and eventually relocating to. Be their gateway agent to the world. Make sure that they know that you have an extensive realtor network. And luxury internet or luxuryrealestate.com gives you that additional presence. You're also literally in the room. At our meetings, which are typically once a month on the 3rd Thursday of the month, we have Bob Kalinsky, the other owner of the region. We will have Cheryl Sidoti. We will have regional leadership. We will have team leaders from most of the other market centers. We mastermind individually before each event, and then we bring in a guest speaker. So we'll bring in like the head economist from Fannie Mae, and he will forecast for us for the end of the year. We will bring in Horst Schulte, who was at our awards event, who founded the Ritz-Carlton, and he'll come and talk about luxury services. We'll bring in John Maxwell. He'll come in and talk to you about what it means to be a person who gives back to your community. So you get access to high-level people, but you're in the room with leadership almost every single time. And the top producers in the region who will freely tell you, I do this, I do that. This has worked for me this year. This didn't. It's just a great little resource. And also, if you work here, but somebody's buying in town, you have a partnership that's there. Access to our Live Luxury Dropbox and Google Drive. There are tens of thousands of dollars of free marketing materials on there for you, including all your presentations that you could need, tons of stuff. Next slide, sorry. Real quick. We also have our own luxury branded sign. Well, that looks beige. It's actually a metallic foil. And if you ever see one in the wild, it is beautiful. You know, people want that sign in the yard. We have things like luxury branded folders for when you're going out on days of showing. You can have a really nice branded thing. There's a card slot in there. Business cards, name tags. This would be the thing that I know for sure Peggy calls me about every day after the quarter ends, looking for
I'm a
it.
stats girl.
Stats. We provide you at our dollar luxury specific stats, and it's broken down by region. Usually comes 2 to 3 weeks after the quarter ends, leaning more towards 3 weeks since FMLS switched to zip codes instead of areas. That next page, it's broken out into all these different areas. Next page, please. And it starts at the 750 range because that Luxury International uses that as their baseline. It tells you whether or not you're in a seller's market or a buyer's market, how many homes were sold, what it's looking like, and it breaks down into these different categories. Next slide. And it goes up to 2 million plus. We are seeing almost enough data to get 5 million plus in certain markets like Buckhead. And as we get enough data for the stats to be valid, we'll add those spaces. You can take these and grab this snapshot here and send it out to your farming areas that are in that price range. You can use it as social media posts. You can grab the pages and stick them in your presentation for any of the areas because you have access to the entire area. You have a heavy luxury investor, send them the whole thing as attached and say, I want to talk to you about all these areas where we're seeing growth. Next slide, please. We have a Google Drive-based membership platform. This is everything you need in one click. We have 2 tenants. If it's not efficient, you won't use it. And if you have to look for it, it might as well not exist. So once you access this, this will stay in your Google Drive shortcuts. You will always be able to access it in one click. On there, we have everything from presentations, if you're not a Canva person, so if you're an Adobe Acrobat person, those are all on their PowerPoints, and then Canva templates. Everything we have is accessible to you in Canva templates. You can customize them to yourself. We also have hundreds of stock photography. So if you're doing emails or social media things, you don't have to pay for the royalties. We do that for you. We have membership contact information, which is if you want to send a personal gift to any of your co-brokers that are in our group, you can do that as well. Their birthdays are in there, that sort of stuff. Quarterly stats for every year that we have them. So if you get that discerning high D seller and he says, well, in December of 2019, the market was this, you can go, well, let's talk about it. Pull it out. We also have an events and a store page where you can buy branded marketing materials. Next slide. So Canva templates sort of look like this. And once you access them and use them as a template, they show up in your drive, so you can send it off to your printer directly from there, or if you print in-house. We have 3 suites of presentation materials. One of them, this one has a complimentary pre-list, and the other ones are in the works right now. We have brochures, social media postcards. This is our modern gold version. Next slide, please. There's also a suite of black. Next slide. And a suite of gold. This is your only landscape option. If you need somebody to do it for you, you're not Canva friendly, we have resources for you. You can reach out, they'll customize it all for you and send it back to you. There's any use in our environment. Next slide, please. If you don't do Google, some people don't, we have all those materials also for you on Dropbox. This is a big one. We do weekly email blasts. This goes to 7,000 agents on the agent side. And for the things that face client forward, there's an additional 10,000 people in our database.
What market it was going to?
The entire metro region.
Just local.
But it also will come to you. So if you want to forward it to one of your, you can put your listings on there. We also have a public Facebook page that has 37,000 fans on there. So you can literally say to your client, I'm going to send your property out to 17,000 people for your just listed and open house. And I'm going to have this posted and 37,000 people are going to see it on Facebook. So it just gives you a little bit more stats and power behind what you're already doing probably. And these go out every single week. And it's a simple job form. You upload a little bit of information, you're good to go. And it links to you, your property links to you. That's it. That's it. Questions?
So what you said was you're in the process of getting your first luxury listed, and I know you have to be within a certain price range, but you have to sell a certain amount before you can do this. But if you wanna, wow your customer, can you a la carte some of these things? So
No.
you look amazing.
No. I would love to do that for you. I would.
Stephanie,
my question. What? I like where your brain's going.
Could she do it in a way of partnering with Jill?
You 100% could partner with any of these ladies here and co-broke with them and get access to it.
I will do that.
Yep.
Maybe give a quick prop to Penny. Penny's precious.
Precious! How are you?
The minute I introduced myself when I wanted to sell one of my listings, as soon as I introduced myself as a KW consultant, it was like, oh, I met her sister. And I never met her. I mean, I felt so, you went over and above.
Thank you.
To,
Together, but we tried, didn't we?
Yes,
We
I
did.
tried.
So,
my
but thank you.
client was just not cooperating enough.
So ladies, if you will all stay here for just a few more moments, do we have any other last questions? I know we're running way late, so yes, Markia.
In regards to referrals, I know a lot of your business is based off of client referral, but as far as like out of state referrals, do you all really work those? I know you mentioned New York, California, Miami. Can you kind of explain that as far as how your database works?
I can't point to that. I can't talk.
You know what?
I think maybe the 3 of us are in the same boat. We really want to go there, but we haven't.
We're
because so
busy.
Yes.
This would be if you're building for luxury. I mean, it's great to have that just generally. We also have an affiliate region in the Golden Isles because we know that a lot of Atlanta money goes to the Golden Isles, Hilton Head, St. Simon Island. We have an affiliate there for Live Luxury. On my goal list for this coming set of things, I'm going to bring in top agents from those 4 key money in states and the 4 key money out states. You really should be expanding your network there because Atlanta really is not transient, but we're one of the fastest growing cities. And I would also encourage you all to start, if you're not at the luxury level, make sure you're working that your brand builds towards that because you're hearing a lot on the news about how housing in Atlanta is not affordable and it's not projected to become affordable, which on the surface, that sounds terrible for our non-luxury buyers. But what it means is that the majority of your buyers and sellers are moving towards luxury. So you need to be building towards that because You'll either be riding the wave. Dead water.
Just to piggyback on that, when people would come to the California market and wonder how people were able to buy $3.8 million homes. I mean, the entry point was 1.7 in the neighborhood, and that would be a 1956 home. You know, that was 1,100 square feet. So they're not financially wealthy, these homeowners, but I can tell you this, they've got a plethora of investment property, and they're just pulling the equity from these homes and moving up. So that's the thing. You know, one of my clients lived right in Beverly Hills on a very, very popular street. He owned a liquor store. You know, but he had multiple properties. So, you know, what a great segue. You hold on to these people and educate them on the values of owning real estate.
Their luxury, legacy luxury. That's where they're going. And then, you know, speaking to your class that you have coming up with Marist, she does beautiful social media work. Your number one bucket is the baby boomers and the generation just a half step below them. Your number two top luxury buyer is what we call golden millennials. Those are people who didn't buy a house right away, rented for forever, and their first home is $800,000. Guess where they are? Social media. That's your second largest demographic of luxury buyer.
And when you call them the golden millennials, so what age bracket are you talking?
They're golden in the sense that they have money. But they're true millennials.
They are, they're in their 30s.
They're in their 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, their first job is 6 figures. They've lived very small for many years and they're coming out the gate at 800,000 to $1 million.
And you find they're getting married, they're both working, they have big salaries.
And they expect experience, right? They're not transactional people. They're experienced people. So you need to be cultivating a presence where they are, and B, the experience that they demand, because they're a little needier than you might imagine.
Lots of questions.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about going after expireds in the luxury price point? If you do that, and if so, how do you convert?
We don't have any.
Not yours. Not yours, but other expireds.
Not yours.
No, I don't know if we have, do we have them in
Expireds?
We don't, not in
Yeah.
our group. I would just ask you to call some of those and feel it out. And then decide for yourself if that's what you.
And write a personal letter.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, this has been amazing, hasn't it? I thank you guys so much. A lot of people worked really, really hard, and I know that we're running late, and thank you for your patience, but we really need to pay tribute to some of these folks that are up here for May's Top 20 Awards. And is it just bizarre? What a correlation that these three ladies happen to be represented in the top 20 awards for last month. Everybody's names, I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to be respectful of everybody's time. So congratulations to our top 20. I'll throw out a few. Roxy and Michael Hernandez are not here. We've got Jim Hardesty, John Serrano, Margot and Mike. There's our Raina right there. We've got Ann Kim, Dustin Kimberly. There's our favorite Peggy Connors. And there's beautiful Jill. And we've got Sarah and Nathan Sloan and Lorelei and Scott DeRitter and Pam Griffith, Joanne and Tom, Carrie Veal. Congratulations. That's awesome. Thank you all so much. I'm sure Courtney would be happy to answer any questions.
And Carrie's going to join us.
The next one. So thank you all for coming. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Go sell
Thank you for
some.
having us.
Thank you.
Hello. I didn't see you sneak in the back.